Hello, my name's John, this is my Deathwatch Lieutenant, and you're watching Wargames, Models, and Other Hobbies. Hello and welcome back to another video. Today I am going to be finishing off a few conversions that I've been working on recently. The first one being my Deathwatch Lieutenant. If you haven't seen the other video, I'll put a link in the description, but here you can see the Lieutenant so far, missing a bit of a foot and no completed base. As you can see, they're from the Ultramarines, and by the face, I'm kind of implying that they're a certain character. If you know who it is, drop it in the comments. So what I want to do in this video is complete it by simply attaching it to the base and sculpting a new section for the foot. So to begin, I want to position the Gene Stealer that I made from some spare parts from the Gene Stealer kit in the right position so I can have this character standing on it, something like that. If you know the original Lieutenant before the conversion, they stand on a base like this. So this one just has a slightly different Tyranid dead beastie to be standing on. So I think that's the kind of position I'm looking for. So I'm going to glue that in place right now. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it and then run some glue around the edge and let capillary action take that in. Now I've been working on quite a few Deathwatch models this month. It's, without meaning to, become a bit of a Deathwatch month, and in my hobby roundup I'll run through all of them and let you all see exactly what they're looking like now. If you want to watch any of the videos, like I said, I'll drop it in the description, the other videos that I've worked on. Now I think I'm going to stick this down and then sculpt the detail of the rest of the foot, just so I can kind of get it in the right position. So what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to put some glue under the feet, and then I'll do a little bit of capillary action with the glue as well once I've put this one in place. Actually, let's move that whole thing along a little bit. There we go. So when I get around to painting this, I will do a textured base on the rest of the base. If you'd like to see videos of me painting these, please drop it in the comments so I know what kind of content you're interested in watching. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry for a little bit before I do the sculpting. I'm going to bring my Watch Commander that I was working on a while ago into frame. I finally decided what chapter they're going to belong to, and that's going to be the Howling Griffins. So I'm going to get the shoulder pad in place. I've still left the model in two pieces as it'll allow for easier painting. So I'm just going to run some glue over the shoulder pad and then put this pad in place just like that. And I will, as with the other bits I've done today, just do a little bit of capillary action with the glue. So there we have our Watch Commander with the shoulder pad. And because I know the base won't have dried yet, I'm going to do another bit of a conversion on this Dreadnought. I'm going to swap out the badge on this side with one of the Inquisitorial Deathwatch badges. So I've already made this Dreadnought, and now I'm just going to carefully remove that section. So ideally I would have done this before I put it all together, but as I didn't know what chapter this Dreadnought was going to be in when I got it with the Leviathan set, I just built it. So now I'm just going to carefully shave it off, and I just want to take my time with this. And always be careful when you're doing this kind of carving on plastic, because the plastic's quite hard. It can easily jump out of position, the knife, and you can accidentally cut yourself. I have done it on the odd occasion. Okay, that's a little bit of scraping. And I just want to carefully there we go. So I've scraped that away now. I'm just having a little look around my desk in case I have a bit of wet and dry I could use, and I do. So a little bit of wet and dry sandpaper, but I will just use it dry for now. Apologies if you can hear traffic in the background. There seems to be quite a lot going by today. So recently I've been working on quite a few Primaris upscaling of some Space Marine models and squads. Is there anything that you'd like to see? Please drop it in the comments. Okay, that's okay for now. Let's get this off this sprue. And make sure that's nice and tidy. Okay. So I want it in that position. So I'm going to put a little dot of glue in place, and then, as I've been doing through the rest of the video, a bit of capillary action. Okay, just run that round the edge. So I do have quite a long painting list starting to appear from the last few months of videos. I've got my Primaris Grey Knights, I've now got a few Deathwatch, I've got my Orc Genestealer cult. So hopefully I'm going to get around to doing some painting soon. Okay, there is the inquisitorial symbol in place. Let's put the weapons back on this Ballistus Dreadnought. And there we go, just with a simple conversion, I've now made this Primaris Ballista Dreadnought into a Deathwatch Dreadnought. So in that time, while I've been doing that, that has dried nicely. So I'm going to mix up some green stuff so I can sculpt the end of the foot. Now, I could have cut the foot off the bit of scenic base from the original model, but I want to use that for another project later on, so just using some green stuff, that'll allow me to create a new end of the foot, and sculpt the detail in place. And as always, I'm doing this real time, so it lets you see how long it actually takes to do all of this. Okay. Well, there's the green stuff mixed. There's the green stuff mixed. Okay. So I'm going to have the base of the boot as well as the top of it needing to be done. So I'm just going to put some green stuff there. And I hope you can see this on the screen while I do it. So I've put a little ball in place. And I'm just going to push this down into place. And this is going to make the toe of the foot. So I'm going to take my time whilst I put this in place. The benefit with green stuff is I can do a little bit at a time. It doesn't go off very quickly. And I'm going to be comparing it to this one as I go, so I can see that I need to bring this round slightly. So I'm just going to nudge and push the green stuff round, and this is going to make the base of that toe piece of the boot, the front of the boot. A few different sculpting tools. Okay. I think that bit's okay. I can adjust it when I've added the top of it. Now, I tend to always mix a little bit too much green stuff, but I have other projects dotted around that need green stuff added to them, so it won't go to waste. I'm going to add a smaller amount now. That might be too much. Okay, let's make a few little pieces that I can then add to it. Actually, that bit is almost going to do all of it, so let's work this around carefully. Apologise for not talking while I do this, I'm just concentrating a little bit. On camera, there we go. So I recommend people try a little bit of sculpting. You don't have to do anything complicated, but it can add to what you can do in your hobby. I'm happy with that. Okay, let me just put that other stuff to the side, which I'll use later on before it's gone off. There we have that sculpted front of the foot there. If we have a look at the sprue, you can see it wasn't much left on the sprue, but I've just sculpted that section in there. So there we go, there is the Deathwatch Lieutenant, also that little conversion on the Dreadnought, as well as the Howling Griffin's shoulder pad on the Watch Commander. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this little video. If you'd like to see any other Deathwatch videos, please drop it in the comments, or if you've got any other suggestions, like I said, do the same. But for now, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in. My name's John, and you've been watching War Games, Models, and Other Hobbies.